Hey folks, welcome back to the Social Media Stewards F1 podcast. I'm Ray, I'm joined by Mark. Over the last few weeks, we've looked at the 2025 season review. We've looked ahead at the rule changes and regulation changes for 2026. But today, we're kind of going to go over all of the pre-season news that we may have lost over the last couple of weeks or we may have missed out on. We're going to look at the potential driver roulette as all the contracts seem to be expiring throughout 2026. And then we're going to end our time tonight talking about the Sergio Perez sabbatical is over interview on the Oso Trava podcast. There's a bit to kind of look at tonight, but actually thinking about it.
There is indeed. There is indeed. There's loads of little snippets that keep coming out in news, like, oh, have you heard about this? Maybe this. And like you say, obviously driver contracts, big issue this year.
Yeah.
But should we start off with our first little bit of news, which was obviously Audi got their car out on track.
Yeah.
Because this year it's not called Kick Sauber, is it? It's called the Audi Revolut F1 team. So it is actually named Audi, which I didn't realise it would be this year.
No, I didn't think they were putting the name on it.
No,
I for some reason I thought it was still going to be Sauber, but like Sauber Audi maybe, but
that's exactly what I thought. Yeah,
Sauber completely dropped.
Yeah, but like we said the other week, this is the first Audi with indicators, so that will be amazing to see.
Yeah.
Didn't see them working on track though.
No,
I didn't see that.
Did you hear that engine?
It does sound mint.
It sounded amazing. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it sounded evil.
It did, but I think then again, I mean, we've had a while without F1 now, haven't we? So anytime you hear an F1 car, you're like, ooh, it's like, oh, it sounds lovely. Do you know what I mean?
Tingles on the right places.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
The one thing we did talk about though was obviously it sounds a lot different now because obviously they have got rid of the MGUH, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, normally they would harvest a lot of their battery power from the turbo itself, but now they're not doing that anymore. That component's completely gone.
Yeah.
So as the car's entering corners or going around slow corners, it sounds like the engines, it's almost like overrun, like a rally car, but without the spit and flame in the back. And it sounds incredible, even going through slow speed corners. And it sounds almost like it's being booted around a corner, but it's not. It's still going slowly. So it's gonna sound a lot different this year. Still, considering it's very similar engines, it will sound a lot different.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing 2 or 3 cars battling into a corner and just hearing what that's going to sound like down the straights and then into the braking zones. Like you say, it still sounds like they've got the foot down, but it's actually just the engine trying to keep that turbo spooled up ready.
That's it.
So yeah, it looked quick as well, but there's no reference point. It was just, a phone camera. It looked quick. Obviously, it was just running in like a blacked out livery because they haven't done any reveals or anything like that. But it definitely got me excited for the season because it did look smaller. It looked quick. It sounded amazing.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, are we going to get back to that? Get back to that kind of era where hearing the cars as opposed to seeing them is going to be magical again. It's not going to be V10 era. It's not going to be V10 era, but
no,
it sounded a lot better than 2025, 2024.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's waiting to hear what they actually sound like when you've got now 22 of them all going from the line, battling into turn 1, whilst they're all on this, overrun or whatever you would like to call it. It should sound a lot better than it has done in previous years. But it's all yet to be seen, isn't it? Because you would assume all the teams will be doing that, not just Audi. I don't think that's something that they've just pulled out the bag. It's got to be something. It's quite common.
You kind of think most of the engines, all the engines are going to sound pretty similar.
You would have thought so.
You would have thought. The one engine I am interested to hear, though, and I suppose Ferrari are as well, because they still haven't fired it up, is the Ferrari engine, because whilst everyone else is going with like the aluminium, the tried and tested aluminium for weight, they're going with like a steel alloy because they think they can get higher compression rates and more durability. So I just wonder if that's going to sound a bit different than.
Yeah, so it's a steel alloy cylinder head, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not the entirety of the block.
No.
But yeah, that is a weird one to go for. I don't understand that one. Obviously, there has to be reasons behind it, whether or not they've taken that from one of their recent road cars or whether it's something they'd already had in development. Because Ferrari always state that their road cars are based on their Formula One technology and heritage. So you do kind of wonder, is this a step forward for something else? But as we haven't even heard it fired up yet, or say Ferrari haven't heard it fired up yet either. But it sounds like Ferrari are waiting on quite a lot of parts. So it's not just the engine, but the chassis only just been finished.
Yeah,
is that right?
They only just got signed off on in the last couple of days.
That's crazy because we are only 28 days away from testing.
Less than 2 weeks away from the run out in
the private testing.
The private testing.
Yes.
Yes. So we're less than 2 weeks out from that. Reports are, I mean, we don't know how confirmed they are, but reports are they haven't fired the engine. They've only just had the chassis signed off on. They're cutting it close, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'd hope it's because they're refining stuff and they're going to come out with something.
Yeah.
Something good. But.
Yeah.
But part of you thinks.
I suppose.
Problems.
Yeah, I suppose normally you think of refining something when you've already got something.
Yeah.
The problem is at the minute it sounds like they haven't got anything to refine. It's pure speculation. We have no idea. It is only what you hear trickle out into the open world, into the media.
Yeah.
For all we know, Ferrari have absolutely nailed this. And they're just taking the extra time because they think they're not going to need much in the way of tweaking or modifying or anything like that. Maybe they think this is one and done with the design. If recent years have been anything to go by, they are wrong. Yeah. But I must admit, I would love to see Ferrari fighting for a championship.
Yeah. I mean, the more cars we've got
would be good.
The more cars we've got.
It's not just that, but I'd like to see Ferrari actually earn the money they get paid.
Yeah.
No offense, Ferrari, but you're getting money for nothing.
But I think we both think that's a contentious point. That just getting money for being there. But yeah, I think I'm interested to see what that engine is like.
Yeah.
If they can get, more power through it by being able to just hammer it harder because it's more durable, because those rods are more durable, or whether it's just gonna put more weight on the car. I don't know. It's one of those, time will tell.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'll be very keen to see if it sounds any different to the other cars, and I guess we'll see that in testing. And
who knows?
There's a couple of other bits of news, mainly surrounding kind of like driver signings and driver releases. But whilst we're talking about testing, very, very quickly, Cadillac did drop their shakedown livery. Don't know if you. I mean, obviously you will have seen it because Liam sent us both the same picture.
Yes, yes, it does look nice.
Considering it's just a shakedown livery, it's not like the proper livery. Kind of means just like throw some sponsors on it and be done, because that is.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's nice. It looks like the Batmobile.
Well, have you seen the close-up images of it? And it's got every team member's name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really nice. I like that. That's a nice touch. That I do like that.
All the founding members of Cadillac Formula One from the US and the UK, they put in their post on X. Very nice touch, very kind of thing to commemorate the launch of the new team and like a new era for Cadillac.
Definitely.
But for those watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see the image of the shakedown livery now. For those listening on any of the podcast platforms, you'll be able to see it on Cadillac's X profile. And if you want to jump over to the YouTube video, give us a like whilst you're there. It'd be brilliant.
Nice plug. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
But I think it's lovely. But
yeah, they did
have to state in the things, like, because I think a few people were like, this is stunning. They were like, no, this is just a shakedown. It's not delivery. You'll see that in February. So
but we have had a few name changes to teams, haven't we?
We have.
Some of them not so discreet. So, like we said before, Kick Sauber is turning into the Audi Revolut F1 team.
Yeah.
We've had McLaren change name to McLaren MasterCard Formula One team, in which they've got a new logo as well. Is that correct?
No? I haven't been able to find one.
Okay, so I'm getting confused with others. Yes,
but I've not been able to find one for the McLaren thingy. So they may have announced a name change, and we'll probably get a new logo. The only thing you can find logo-wise is, like, you've obviously added the laurels and the drivers and constructors championship thing on the profile pictures and stuff, but I haven't seen a MasterCard logo yet.
Okay, so we have also had Haas. They are now TGR Haas F1 team, or Toyota Gazoo Racing, which is what that stands for. Yeah, because obviously they're now teamed up with Toyota. Go on, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, I thought I mentioned this to you on the weekend, that I thought this was funny because they announced, we are now Toyota Gazoo Racing Haas.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days later, Toyota announced that they're separating the Toyota and Gazoo Racing into Toyota Racing and Gazoo Racing and everywhere else. And I was like, has anyone told Haas?
Yeah, I mean that could be a thing where they can enter two teams in other sectors.
Yeah,
one Toyota Racing, one Gazoo Racing. Yeah, double up your cars in the tournaments.
Yeah. I just found it quite funny because obviously they made the big announcement with Haas, and then it was like, by the way.
Yeah, we've also had Williams, which is now Atlassian Williams F1 team, which is just their main sponsor. They've managed to get the name into the full title as well.
Yeah.
In which, to be honest, I thought they were called that anyway.
I did. Because everywhere you see it, it's always the Atlassian and the Williams. And but it is enforcing a new bugbear of mine in the team names. And don't get me wrong, I get the sponsors pay big money to have their names plastered everywhere, all over the cars and everything like that. But I like Williams, I like Racing Bulls, I like Mercedes, I like Red Bull. I don't like Visa, Cash App, Racing Bulls, Atlassian, Williams, Toyota Gazoo Racing. I mean, the Toyota Gazoo one's a bit different because it's a partnership in the racing thing, and I get that.
Yeah.
But this whole having, the sponsorship and the title of the I don't like it. It's a personal gripe. I don't know. It's just
I think, to be honest,
flavor out of it for me.
Yeah, but I think, to be honest, the only time this ever comes up is when you see it written down. Whenever people are talking racing, they always just say Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Racing Bulls, Haas. Nobody cares about the sponsors. I'm sorry. At no point... No, they don't.
No, I'm right there.
At no point have I ever watched an F1 race and thought, I wonder who that Atlassian actually is. I wonder what they do. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I've looked and gone, oof, because I quite like McLaren, I'm going to make sure I get a MasterCard. No, you're all right. I'm really not bothered. It doesn't bother me. Do you know what I mean?
No.
it's just it's money, isn't it? It's the same as Mercedes. What Mercedes Petronas is it? And I'm just like, yeah, who on earth is Petronas when he's at home? I don't care. It really doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I get the money side of it. I get the sponsorship and the partnership side of it. I really do. It just, I don't know. It just takes like, I mean, even at the reveals, like, here's the new McLaren Mastercard F1. No, it's a McLaren. Just
yeah, no, I get that.
It takes some of the shine off it for me, the prestige and flair off it.
Yeah, I do understand that.
But you have mentioned another good, like, it's the Mercedes Petronas.
Yeah,
brand new logo. Oof.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's like playing Where's Wally or Spot the Difference. How can you call that a new logo? I'm sorry. It's the same logo. You've basically just changed a slight colour aspect of it.
Yeah. Change the Patronus to the Patronus teal or green or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's like me saying that I've had a facelift when all I've done is bought new glasses. I'm sorry, it's not the same thing. It's so dumb. And more than anything, how much did that cost them?
Oh.
That's what worries me.
All the letterheads, all the business cards, all of the...
Oh, no. Forget all that, right? Forget all of the reprinting everything and changing it all on the IT systems. How much did they pay somebody to sit in a room for 6 months and then come back and go, by the way, I changed the font ever so slightly. Can I have me 100 grand? Do you know what I mean? That's what bothers me. I just think you're just throwing good money after bad at this point.
Dude, I think podcasting's the wrong business.
Why?
we could just be changing colours on logos and be getting paid a fortune.
Oh, maybe. It's just things like that. I just think, who on earth paid you to do that?
Yeah.
And who said, do you know what? You've done a cracking job there. It's it's like all big business. You pay a lot of money for useless stuff, and unfortunately, it's what they do. But whatever floats their boat. All of the logo nonsense and name changing nonsense doesn't bother me. I just want to see the cars on track. That's all I'm interested in. But that does move us to drivers.
Yeah.
So we have just had a bit of news, haven't we? So Zoe has been signed for Cadillac as reserve driver.
Yeah, which I think is a smart move.
I think so as well.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not an exceptionally quick driver. But what Cadillac need right now is people who've been in F1. Who've been in an F1 seat, who've been in a race seat, who can tell you what the car needs. Especially as test and reserve. You don't want to be rolling the dice on someone's academy to play. Because they could have gone to, Mercedes, Red Bull, or any of the big teams have gone, who have you got in the academy that we can take for a
of course, yeah.
Which a lot of teams do. And, the bigger teams are like, go for it because it gives their drivers experience. But what they wouldn't get right now in their first year, if they did that, would be someone who's been in a race seat.
Yes.
Who knows the pressures, who knows what the car needs to do, where it needs to do it, who knows the tracks as well. And I think it's a smart move. Not necessarily a very quick driver, but an experienced one.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You need people who can go straight into that seat and give you very good, reliable feedback of, suspension needs to be a bit more pointed, or wearing through tires, and I think this is why. And it's that very reliable feedback, isn't it? And that's what they're going to get from the likes of Perez and Bottas, and now Zoe as well.
Yeah.
So I think they've played it really well with those three drivers. To be fair,
very, very smart. They wouldn't get that from an academy driver.
No, and it'd be unfair to expect it as well.
Exactly. But that's a good move. But then a release from Alpine by mutual agreement. Jack Doohan has been let go.
Yeah,
news came through on that this morning.
Wonder where he'll end up.
Yeah, I can't see him being an F1. The wording on the release was this kind of frees Jack up to chase other racing goals.
Right.
Because although he wasn't in the F1 car, he was still their reserve and test driver. And when they replaced him with Franco Colapinto, they said it was a driver rotation.
Right.
Rather than a replacement. So...
Right.
I mean, when have we ever known drivers to be rotated through F1 seats? It's just, you were given your chance.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he thought he was getting back in the car.
Right, okay, yeah.
You know, unless Franco Colapinto binned it as many times as he did at Williams, which, fair play to him, he didn't. You know, he did bin it a couple of times, but he did all right in the seat.
He did improve. Yeah, he did improve.
So, I think it's a good move for Jack, because whilst you're tied in your contract, you can't go off and do anything else. You can't go into another competitive field. You can't, go to maybe GT cars or anything like that, or endurance racing, because you're tied down to Alpine, and if anything happens to you, well, you can't fulfill your contractual obligations, and so at least it does free him up to go and do some racing.
Definitely.
And all the best to him, but I don't think we'll see him at F1 again. I think he was treated harshly.
No,
I don't think he was given enough time. But that's it.
I think that's the thing. You see a lot of F1 drivers when they do eventually leave F1, or drivers like himself who hasn't spent that long in F1, they've still got an awful lot of potential, and they can still do great things in other race series. And there are plenty of other race series where he could go around the world and race, and he could do absolutely fantastically. Maybe F1 just isn't the one for him.
Yeah.
But good luck to him wherever he ends up.
Yeah.
It's might be the best move for him, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is, because we didn't hear anything of him after he was kind of replaced.
No.
Yeah, best of luck to him.
Okay, so drivers with expiring contracts for 2026. Now, how on earth they've all ended up at 2026, whether or not a lot of drivers were looking like, this car could be awful, I want a way out, or whether it's just, coincidence, I doubt it.
I think it's teams and drivers.
Yeah.
Have
maybe looking for renewals.
Because new regs.
Definitely.
They'll know they'll get to see who's in the car, who isn't, and drivers will get to see who's got the good car. But do we go through this alphabetically?
Well, I reckon we just go through it in the list order that I've written down, because otherwise I'm going to get confused as anything.
No worries.
So let's start with Mercedes. Let's go right for the middle of the alphabet. Yeah. So Mercedes, George Russell and Kimi Antonelli both out of contract at the end of 2026.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, obviously we'll see how it plays out in 2026, but both really good drivers. Not often I compliment George, but he is a really good driver. It would be better if somebody turned his microphone off, but it's more the stupid things he comes out with. It's not that he's aggressive towards other drivers or anything. It's just, telling his pit wall that there's rain on the track when actually he's just sweating, or telling people that he's been forecast a podium. I'm sorry, was that in the weather report? No, George, it wasn't. I think Mercedes, honestly, have got one of the best driver lineups going with those two, because Kimi Antonelli, bit of a rocky start last season, but you can see how much he's progressing.
Yeah.
And I think if George honestly believes he's Mercedes' number one driver, I'd watch how that plays out this season. I wouldn't be so sure. You might be older. Doesn't mean you're the number one. All depends on the car, I suppose, on that one.
I agree. It's one of the strongest lines. Get my words out. One of the stronger lineups on the
Hold on.
on the grid. Mercedes would do well to nail them both down beyond 2026, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But there's a big Max Verstappen size white elephant in the room, where I think, because we'll obviously get to Red Bull as we go through this as well.
Yeah.
But we know how much Toto wants Max at Mercedes. We know that.
Yeah.
And if Red Bull's car isn't up to scratch and Mercedes is, these two could be fighting for the one remaining seat in 2027.
Yeah.
In my own thoughts, I know some people go, "Well, Max won't leave Red Bull," but if he isn't given a car or he doesn't see the development there, I think Max would move to whichever team has got the best car if they want him, and if they don't want him, they're mad.
Yeah.
So, whilst I'd say they'd do well to lock them both down, I don't think they will until later in the season.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the thing there is, obviously, I know we're going to get onto Red Bull in a bit, but Max is under contract until 2028. But obviously, Max now does have that relationship with Mercedes in his GT3 racing, as they've just signed a contract to use the Mercedes car for his GT3 team.
Yeah.
So whether or not there's a little bit of, backdoor deals to be had, who knows?
He's contracted till 2028, but every contract's got a number on it.
Oh, of course.
And Mercedes will probably be willing to pay that number.
It's not just that, but we've always heard in years gone by, Max has got a get out of jail free card for his contracts.
Yeah.
So
performance contract based on the car, isn't it? So
yeah, I just think Mercedes is a great unknown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we honestly believe 2022 they come out swinging, and it turns out they forgot their side pods and they didn't really do much with it. Yeah. So it's how right or catastrophically wrong they get it this time.
Yeah, but it definitely feels like having both their drivers' contracts expiring end of 2026 is deliberate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would have thought so.
It definitely feels very deliberate, not just from a driver side, but from... Because wasn't George kind of vying for a longer contract, which is what was holding up the whole process of his renewal?
Yeah.
Of his last renewal. So it kind of feels like Mercedes are kind of going, no, we're gonna leave our options open here. And if they both perform and they're close in, points and finishes and wins and podiums, I'd be tempted to keep Kimi if you were going to go for another driver like Max.
Yeah, I would.
Because Kimi's got all that potential. George is brilliant. But I'd go with the potential of Kimi. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Because, if it wasn't for new regs, I'd say lock them both down.
Yeah.
Into new contracts. But with it being new regs...
Oh, yeah.
Definitely want to see how it plays out.
I completely agree, to be fair. Completely agree with that. I do think it was the same as when, obviously, Russell was trying to extend his contract last year. There was very much ifs, buts, and coconuts about it. It was only really when Max came out and went, who said I was going anywhere? I'm not going anywhere. And then all of a sudden, Russell has his little extension.
Yeah. That's what made me think, the whole Max Verstappen elephant in the room. So.
Yeah, maybe. In some ways, I wouldn't like to see Max go to Mercedes.
I would.
Yeah, I know you would. But I'm not sure. You see, I mean, we'll get onto Max when we get down to Red Bull. Let's not get ahead of we were talking about Mercedes. No.
Yeah. The next up, would be Aston Martin.
Yes. So both of them, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, are out of contract at the end of 2026. And I know there's only one there I'd renew.
Yeah.
So sorry, Alonso. No, I don't mean that. No.
That's the thing. Technically, both up end of 2026.
Yes.
Technically.
Yes.
But
yes,
unless some of the mainline sponsors come through and really start kicking teeth in at Aston Martin, it's unlikely that Lance Stroll's going to lose his seat.
I'm not sure about that.
You don't?
No. I think Alonso, his contract will be renewed unless he simply isn't performing in the car, which I can't see because Alonso's pretty consistent and he does seem to be able to get the best out of the car that he's got. I think with Lance Stroll, I don't think it necessarily needs to be the sponsors that puts the final blow to his career. I think it's already on the way. If you own that team, if you own Aston Martin, yes, isn't it wonderful? Your little boy's in the F1 car. What a wonderful thing. It's an extremely expensive Tonka toy for your kid, right? But if you're now going to go and blow how many hundreds of millions for Adrian Newey?
Yeah.
If you're going to go and blow that kind of money to get the best designer in to build you the best F1 car, if he does do what we're hoping he'll do, because normally his cars are pretty great out the box.
Yeah.
If Stroll still can't perform, I'm sorry, but Daddy Stroll has got to pull the plug at some point and just go, do you know what? Maybe F1 isn't for you. Let's replace you with another. Maybe he could, because there has been talks about Max going to Aston Martin. I can't say it myself, but there has been talks about it. Maybe he'd follow Newey in years to come. Depends what they come out with car-wise. But I think that will be the blow to Lance Stroll's career, because you can't keep spending money after money. If you can get the best car on the grid with the best designers and yet your driver can't drive it, you've got to take the sun part out of it, haven't you? You have to.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's money. You've got to.
I completely get that argument, logically speaking. Completely get that argument, logically speaking. And I think exactly the same. If he can't do it, get him out the car. But he's not been able to do it for the last decade. Why is he still in a car? Why is Daddy still spending money on him? Why is he still a paid driver?
You see, I think the worst decision ever made was I think Lance Stroll made the wrong decision by going to drive for his dad. Purely because I didn't think he was that bad in years gone by. He wasn't the best driver, by any stretch of the imagination, but I didn't think he was awful. Is there a part of his brain that has gone, doesn't matter how I drive, because Daddy will give me a new contract?
I think he saw the end and realised the only way to stay in F1 is if Daddy buys him a team.
No.
That's the way I think it happened, because, he wasn't great. He wasn't the worst, but he wasn't average. If you get me.
Yeah.
He's always been below average if you look at like the whole skill level of the F1 Live. He's always been below average. So the end would have come for him after Williams.
Oh, yeah. Of course it would.
So I think he saw the writing on the wall, and the best way for him to stay in F1 is Daddy's money.
Yeah, but I think part of the downside to that is there's no reason to try. Do you know what I mean? Because your contract isn't on the line, is it?
Oh no, I get that. I completely get that. But if you know you were never going to win the championship because you're not that good anyway, but you just like driving the F1 cars,
and
you're given the chance to do that year in and year out because Dad owns the team.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've seen his outbursts in the garage and the way he's treated some people in the garage, and other drivers would be reprimanded for that, or possibly lose their seats, or he's very, very protected. And I do think that gets rid of the drive to actually have to perform. It definitely does. But I just wonder, like, I hope in Lawrence Stroll's mind, he's kind of going, right, if we give him the car this year and he doesn't perform, he's gone. And he can go and race I'll buy him a GT team. He can go do that if he wants. you know.
Yeah.
But I honestly hope that's the way. But I think the way it's going to be forced to happen is sponsors going, we've got a championship capable car.
Yeah.
We need the drivers. I just think he's too protected whilst his dad runs the team. And Alonso, I think he'll be there till he wants to retire.
Yeah, I think so.
And whether it's after a year in these new cars or he just keeps wanting to do it for fun, I think, he's still a strong driver at his age.
Yeah.
He's better than half the drivers on the grid.
I think Alonso will be there until he starts running Le Mans with Max, or he joins Max's GT3 team, which wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
No.
But
I think the Aston one's an interesting, very interesting situation.
I can't see Stroll going past 26, because even if it is your son, good God, your business has still got to make money, and you need, for an F1 team, it has to perform. And if you've got one driver that sucks week in, week out, regardless of what his surname is, you need to get shut. And I'm not trying to pick on Stroll, but it's a performance-based sport. If you ain't performing, you're gone. That's the way it is. You're supposed to be the top 20 drivers, or from this year, 22 drivers in the world. Yeah. Not the best driver in your dad's house.
That's the thing. I don't doubt his ability to drive the car, because he can clearly drive an F1 car.
Oh, yeah.
What he doesn't have is pace or racecraft.
Yeah.
And you need all three. You need to be able to drive the car. You need pace.
Yeah.
You need racecraft.
Agreed.
And if he hasn't developed it by now, Daddy Stroll needs to give him a harsh lesson in reality and basically say, performance-based sport. See you later.
Not for you.
And I would honestly hope that, but I just think it's been this long. Well, time.
I think Stroll won't be let go by Aston Martin. He will walk away with his head held high, or that's the way he'll word it.
Yeah, there'll be a statement going, I've been able to live my dream of driving in F1 for so long. Thank you to Aston Martin and Williams, and no mention of Dad.
No, it'll be spun in a way of like a really warm farewell.
Yeah. I'm not one to be like, I want someone to lose their job, but it's not a job. It's a hobby for him. That's what it feels like. It's pretty much. And there's much more deserving drivers out there. I know, like, people will be listening, they're banging on Stroll again. Right? But let's be honest. He's an easy target because he doesn't move very fast.
Well, that's the problem. He's never going to get a speeding ticket, is he? Right.
Yeah.
Williams.
Yes.
So Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz, both on multi-year deals, but both expiring in 26. Carlos Sainz, he'll stay. He'll get extended.
I'm not worried for him at all. If he carries on his form, I'm not worried for him at all.
Yeah. No, I'm not. To be honest, I'm not that worried for Albon. It just depends, because his performances are sporadic, aren't they? If he has a good weekend, he has a good weekend. But if it's bad, it's like,
I think.
Do you know what I mean?
If he has a consistent year, he'll be fine. Because it's a good driver lineup to have that. It is. You're talking about strong driver lineups. Albon scored more than Sainz last season.
He did.
But at no point were you excited about Albon's performances.
No.
Whereas Carlos put it on the podium a couple of times and had really exciting, really, challenging races, and not worried for him at all. But Albon, I think, just needs that consistency, because if they come out the gate with a car and that Mercedes engine, we've said this a couple of times, they've been putting all their eggs in the 2026 basket, so to speak.
Yes, of course they have. Yes.
So if they come out with a well-designed car and that Mercedes engine, it could be a very good year for them. Maybe not a championship year, but up there and pushing. So they need that consistency from Albon.
Yeah.
And if he shows
I think, to be honest, if they come out with a decent car, I think it'll be a good year for both Albon and Sainz. And I think they'll both get extended. Maybe Sainz for a multi-year deal, maybe Albon on like a 12-month basis. But I do think if there's a good car behind them, I think Albon will be all right, because even beginning of last year, Sainz, I can't remember whether it was Australia or whether it was Canada, with a beginning of the race was wet, and Sainz was just going slow behind a safety car around a corner, and the car spun out. So you got like a weird power surge, and you're like, it's weird little things like that where obviously even a seasoned driver like Sainz got caught out by that and spun off and binned it into a wall. So the car clearly wasn't as predictable as maybe they thought it was. Maybe Sainz has been more used to that with being a Ferrari driver. And, he's been around a little bit more, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So I would hope Albon has a better season this year. And I think with the things that Williams have predicted or put their hopes towards for 2026, that would be the case, really.
Yeah, I think 3 of Albon's with DNFs last season from pit damage and little knocks and things like that. So that plays into some of the inconsistency in terms of the points. But maybe he had an okay season, but he was just overshadowed by those brilliant moments by Sainz. And
of course,
I think it's a good lineup. It just, that consistency needs to, for both really, the consistency needs to be there. But I think Sainz is more safe than Albon.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Haas.
Woman.
Ocon and Behrman both have deals covering 2026 and not beyond.
Yeah.
Behrman, young lad, rookie, very good, very quick, lots of potential. Yeah. I would sign him up immediately.
Yeah.
If I was Haas, I'd try to lock him in, because if a couple of teams come up with really good cars and Ollie Behrman's on the market, they could lose him.
Definitely.
Ocon, I'm not too sure about. I think he has to have an outstanding season.
Yeah, to be fair, he didn't do bad last season.
He didn't.
It's just not memorable.
But
he didn't do bad. I'm looking at his results here. He was in the top 10 majority of the time.
Yeah.
2 DNFs. He finished outside the top 10 once, twice, 3, 4 times in the whole season.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, brilliant in the Haas, fantastic in the Haas.
Yeah.
But I said this the other week, Ocon's one of those drivers who I just see tumbling down the teams.
Yeah, agreed.
Because he's been in the sport that long, there comes a point where it's not potential anymore.
No.
It's this is your plateau. This is where you are. You're not going to get any better than where you. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas Ollie Behrman's a young lad and he's got potential. He's only been in the sport a year, about a year and a half. Because he had a couple of and he's got that potential. He can grow and he can get quicker. Whereas Ocon has moved from a couple of teams. He's at Renault. He's What?
I'm so sorry.
Mm.
I gave you all that info.
Mm.
I apologize to the podcast. I gave you all that info for Ocon. I was looking at the wrong season. He had a really bad season.
I was going to say, like, it was that unmemorable that I didn't remember if you were actually being on point with that or not.
Yeah, do you know what? I can only apologize for that. I was on the wrong season.
So I'll go with what I was saying. I think he really has to pull it out the bag this year.
Yeah, do you know what? Haas just get shut of him. That looking at last season, yeah, he's not worth it. It would have been better if he DNF'd a few more times.
I was thinking, like, we went through the season review a couple of weeks ago, and I don't remember us talking about about Ocon being like, no. And I was like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, when I say he finished inside the top 10, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 times. Sorry, apologies. The rest of the times, well, we'll just not look at the rest of the times.
I do think he is he needs an outstanding season if he does worth a new contract. Because I think he's gone beyond this guy's got potential. Because he did look like, he had a lot of potential when he first come in, and he was quick. He was making the right moves, but he's just one of those drivers who I just see tumbling until he ends up being a reserve driver or just walking away from the sport. So yeah, Haas. If I'm Haas, I'm locking down Ollie Behrman as soon as I can.
I agree with that. Yeah, I would keep Behrman without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, depends how he performs this season, I suppose. But looking at performances so far, I would keep Behrman. If I was looking at 4 years ago, I would keep Ocon. If I looked at last season's results, once I've got the right page up, yeah, I'd probably part ways with Ocon. But they might be able to get George Russell on the cheap at the end of the season. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's it. Behrman, he's still young. He's still showing what he's made of, and he's been doing a good job of it.
I think even if Behrman had a rough season this season, I'd still want to lock him in because you know what he's capable of, and it's the first season, new regs, new cars.
Yes.
I'd still want to lock him in and kind of go, well, Esteban, you're fighting for your seat now.
I think the thing with Behrman that I find really interesting is he manages to change to his surroundings very quickly. So when he stood in at Ferrari, it was when Sainz got his appendix done. Is that right?
Yeah.
To just step into that Ferrari and start knocking out cracking laps and things like that, I thought, rapid. Ooh, he's one to watch. Yeah.
So I would definitely go with that. But then moving on to two of the seats that we definitely want to talk about.
One.
Where are we? Next on our list, we've got Red Bull.
Ooh. So Isaac Hadjar.
Anyone watching on YouTube will see Isaac Hadjar still in this Racing Bulls outfit, but that's because there's no actual official Red Bull thingy yet. As soon as we've had all the unveilings, I will update them all.
By the way, whilst you just mentioned Racing Bulls and his outfit, have you seen the team gear this year for Racing Bulls? Like the shirts and everything you can buy?
No.
Tasty.
Nice.
Tasty. I will be buying myself one.
Should we do a merch review episode?
I think we should. It's really nice, honestly. For a lower down team, it's nice. But anyway, back to Red Bull. Isaac Hadjar, I'm looking forward to see what he can do.
Yeah.
Do you know why I'm fascinated by Hadjar? Right. It's not even necessarily his performances. Don't get me wrong. I think he's done a good job so far. He's got the exact same mentality as Max when he's being interviewed, and it makes me chuckle to no end. Because for such a young driver, so new in the sport, I mean, he was asked at one point, like, oh, do you like cats? And he said, yeah, I love cats. And he said, why? And he went, because they don't ask me stupid questions. And you think, out of a rookie driver, do you know what I mean? I just think that is exactly what Max would say. Do you know what I mean? And I think those two together, I just think might be actually a really good pairing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, but I'm also slightly apprehensive and worried for Hajar.
I'm not really, only because I think Red Bull is not the same outfit it was 12 months ago. Because you've had a few of the higher up people leave, obviously Christian Horner and people like that.
Yeah, Helmut Marko has just gone as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And they were normally the two you would always see going, well, if that driver doesn't perform, he can leave. See you later. Goodbye. And so, and don't get me wrong, you've got to be partially ruthless like that in such a sport that's costing you hundreds of millions a year in research, development, getting the car on the road, to just slap a driver in it who, again, you're paying a lot of money for.
Yeah.
They have to perform. So I do understand it to a degree, but I think they were a lot harsher than other teams, just going, oh, he's raced 3 races for us, you haven't performed, off you pop. And you think, that's not fair.
No.
If you like.
In the past, I mean, I'm hoping that the whole culture changed, and it does seem like there's a shift. But I say in the past it was very much, well, if you're not in the points after 3 or 4 races, see you later. We're not going to waste time letting you settle in. And we're saying about Ollie Behrman being able to kind of adapt very quickly. Not every driver can do that, because every steering wheel is different. Every engine mapping is different from team to team. All of this, there's a lot of adjustments to be made, and you can only make so much adjustments in the simulator. Till you're actually feeling that car like underneath you and feeling actually how it's moving like through the corners and stuff. I'm hoping he's given the time. I'm hoping he's given the season, regardless, just to find his feet and get in there. But the problem he's got, even though Horner and Helmut Marko have gone, it's the same problem every other driver at Red Bull's had. And it's not Max's fault, but Max is every other driver's problem as well. I think.
Yeah, of course.
Because even when the car has been an absolute dog to drive, Max has been able to drive it and get points. And he's superhuman. He is one of the best talents that's ever raced in F1. He is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that just creates a problem for the number 2 driver. In a way that, like, I think in the past, Helmut and Christian have looked at it and gone, well, Max is scoring points. Why aren't you? See you later. And you're being measured up. You're being measured up to the max bar, which is no help to anyone, especially young rookies or young drivers who are just finding their feet in the sport. It's not Max's fault. He's just that good. It's a team culture and management culture issue. Of not recognizing that there's levels to this. And just because Max was able to jump in the car and do what he did from a very young age doesn't mean everyone else can.
I completely agree with that. I mean, like you say, it is always the issue of comparing the 2 drivers, but you can't really compare other drivers to Max. That is not fair.
It isn't.
But I think part of the problem there stems from the second driver always comparing themselves to Max as well.
Oh yeah,
because that has got to be hard not to do. If you're seeing, a lap time getting banged in and it's a lap faster than yours, well, it's going to give you a bit of insecurities there, isn't it? And if that starts to fester and bring you down, it's hard to recover from that, I think. But I think as a Kadjar he's definitely more, I don't know how to word it really. I don't know whether I'd say mentally strong with it, or he's more at peace with it, I suppose, or I think he's more realistic. He's got more realistic expectations.
I think there's a definite mental strength to him. You've got to have a definite mental strength when those doubts are starting to creep in.
Yeah.
And, we've seen drivers in the past just completely succumb to that. We'll come to the Perez interview later. But Perez did start to succumb to the doubts and stuff, and the pressure he's putting on himself to try and get up there and keep competing with Max and stuff. And you're definitely right. It's not just what the team puts on you; it's what you put on yourself. But I think part of the culture of, well, I've got to perform straight away or I'm gone.
Yeah.
Compounds that even more. And I really do hope that I'm wrong and I'm worrying about him for no reason. I do hope that, under Lauren Meckies, there's been a culture shift that he's allowed to develop. Yeah. And as long as he's, putting in performances, not necessarily winning, but as long as he's getting that car up there and getting some points for them, that he's allowed to just develop into it. Because I think he's a possibly a special driver. He's got a lot of potential, and what he's done at Racing Bulls was really, really good. Couple of little moments finding his feet, but an exceptional season for him, and totally deserves the Red Bull seat. Totally deserves a Red Bull seat, and I'm hoping he does enough to show them that he deserves it, to stay there. And I'm hoping he's given the option to. But Max, I don't think you need to worry about Max in contracts, and I think he's just going to decide where he drives in 27.
Max is in contract until 28 anyway, but obviously, like we said before, there is always an escape clause out of it, if you like. But I think the thing is with Max, right? Every other driver, say like, I know Lewis Hamilton has always said he wanted to drive for Ferrari before he retires, which if they perform anything like they did this year, I don't think that'll be far away. Max isn't chasing championship number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I don't think he would necessarily jump ship to another team just to chase that team could give me the championship. I wonder where, if this Red Bull this year is absolute rubbish, but his GT3 team is taking off, it wouldn't surprise me if you see Max just leave the sport.
No, I think there will come a point where he's just like, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not out of the realms. And if he was to move to another team, it'd more than likely be Mercedes. That'd be who I think he'd go to. But I wouldn't surprise me if he stayed another year or two at Red Bull and then just went, I'm done. I've had enough.
I don't think he's like you say, and he said it himself. What does 5, 6, 7 mean? It doesn't mean anything.
Oh yeah.
To quote him, I'm still going to be ordering the same drink. I'm still going to be doing the same things. Oh yeah. What Max wants, you get from him, is he just wants to be at the pointed edge.
Yeah, I get that.
So if Red Bull's in 4th or 5th, but he looks across and Mercedes is like, right up there, you might go, you know what? It'll be fun. I'm not going for a championship, but it'll be fun to drive that. I think if he looks at another car and thinks it'll be fun to drive that car, and the Red Bull just isn't it, he'll move. But if there's all a bit, and he's just like, I don't actually like these new regs. I find the cars a bit meh.
Yeah.
He'd happily walk away from the sport. He's got that many other dreams and goals he wants to fulfill away from F1.
Yeah.
I think he'd just go, you know what? But regardless, like say, he decides where he's driving in 2027. Nobody else, I think.
Yeah. Every team will gladly welcome him.
Whether it's in F1 or in GT3 or doing Le Mans. Yeah. Wherever he wants to drive in 2027, he'll drive. So I don't think he needs to worry about a thing, really.
No, I don't think so in the slightest. No. I certainly don't worry about where Max is going to go.
But if they come out with a car that's quick with that reported engine power advantage, well, I think he'll just stay put and just see how many he can get out of it. There won't be a goal for him. It'll just be like, well, how many can we
No.
Yeah. I'll stay here till I'm not having fun anymore.
So, hang on a minute. I'll just skip one on my outline there. Audi.
Yes.
Right. So, obviously, used to be Sauber, now Audi.
Yeah.
So they've got Hulkenberg and Bortoletto, both with multi-year deals end of 2026. Again, why have they done this for the end of 2026? It's so annoying. I mean, it'll make for great entertainment halfway through the season.
I think it's all deliberate. I think the teams and drivers have been smart about it. They want to see where the land lies. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Nico or Gabriel Bortoletto will be able to go, hey, I'm going to go to that top team.
No.
But they might be able to go to a better team, depending on how they do.
Yeah.
They might be able to kind of get themselves up to a 3rd or 4th place championship team. Who knows?
Do you know,
Nico, I think
I would be intrigued to see Hulkenberg alongside Sainz.
Yeah, you mentioned that the other week. I think it'd be a great pairing.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Audi, I don't know. Like you said, I don't think Hulkenberg has got many more years left in him. I think he'll move on to something else, unless they really surprise us this year with something good, and he can get a couple more podiums, because it was wonderful to see him on the podium this year. That was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
Even if it was just a Lego trophy, which I did feel a bit sorry for him.
Yeah, that time. But yeah, we all love Lego, though.
We do love Lego.
It's taking that home, taking it apart, and then putting it back together. Do you reckon they've got the... you can go on the website and get the manuals for it?
Yeah. But change it into a number 1.
Yeah, do you reckon you gave them a manual for it on your phone? You can,
yeah. I reckon so, yeah.
But I mean, the interesting thing is, Alonso is Bortoletto's manager.
Yes.
So if there's a move to be made, depending on how Audi do, I mean,
yeah,
I don't think there'll be much improvement from the Kick Sauber days. I think just name change and all that jazz. But
yeah,
if there's a better seat available and Bortoletto can be squeezed into it, I think Alonso will be chasing that for him.
Yeah, maybe.
And he's decent as well. I don't think he's like top tier, but I think he's a good good driver. But I just with they're two drivers. I look at the lineup and I go, yeah, Nico, I'd love to see him stay in the sport and be in a faster car and a more competitive car. I'd love to see it, because he's like, you're saying about Ollie Behrman being adaptable. Nico Hulkenberg is so adaptable. How he came in, we said this the other week, he came in for 2 teams in one season as a...
Yes, he did.
Last minute replacement, and performed in both, and then just packed his bags and went back home again. You're like...
Yeah.
There was no... no settling time, no adapting time. It was just, there's the car, drive it, and he did it. So I think I'd love to see him in a car that can shift. But I do wonder how many seasons he's got left in him.
Yeah. So, brings us down to McLaren. So, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri both got deals until at least 2026. So, obviously, they must have the option to extend, I would assume. Now, let's face it, it's McLaren. I don't think Lando's allowed to leave McLaren. It's Zach's child. He's been adopted.
No, Lando's not going anywhere.
Piastri, on the other hand, if I was Piastri, I'd want to leave.
It's not just Piastri. You've got to think about who Piastri's manager is as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Mark Webber famously disliked being number 2 to Vettel. Doesn't like his driver being number 2 to Lando. Because there's, they were both allowed to kind of fight for it. But there's got to be that feeling within Oscar that, Lando's favoured. There's got to be.
Where do you think he'd go?
You see, that's the thing. I honestly think any one of the top teams would have him. Right? But if Max stays at Red Bull, and Hajar confirms it, is doing well. That's not going to change. If Ferrari are doing okay, depending on how Lewis does this season,
you get into my train of thought.
Yeah,
go on.
They'll let Lewis go.
Yeah,
and take on Piastri, Leclerc. That would be formidable.
Yeah.
If there was a competitive car, that would be formidable. I can't see Lewis going on much longer, to be honest with you. I think 2026 is his roll of the dice now for number 8. I think he is chasing number 8. He's not like Max, where he's like, I'm just kind of cool. I think he's gone there, hoping change of regulations. They'll come up with something. He'll have a chance at going for number 8.
I honestly think. I mean, we're meant to be talking about McLaren, but we can talk about both at the same time. Yeah. No. I did ask you where I thought he'd end up. Yeah. So, if I was Piastri, I'd be looking at leaving end of 2026 because you're never going to be prioritised over Lando Norris. It's always going to be papaya rules, and I think it's awful. I do think he will end up taking Hamilton's seat, and I don't think at any point Ferrari will get rid of Lewis, even if he had a really bad season. I think Lewis would be, coming out saying, I'm retiring. I think he'd be let to go with his head held high, if you like, go out on his own terms. And Lewis might be chasing his 8th, but he ain't chasing it in a Ferrari. Because, realistically, I thought Lewis in a Ferrari this year, if they'd have carried on with the 2024 car, I thought this could be tasty. And I'm not a Hamilton fan, but I thought he was in with the shot. And then for some reason, he changed the entire car and he had no chance. He didn't have a cat's chance in hell of getting anywhere near the top this year, which was a massive surprise why on earth Ferrari did that. Instead of just making a couple of tweaks. We've been down this road, I know we have, but
it just baffles me.
And I feel sorry for him in a way, but Ferrari have got to look at it and go, why are we paying £200 million to this driver and he can't even keep up with Leclerc? What's the point? But I think he'll be left to go on his own terms. But if I was Piastri, I'd be getting out of McLaren end of 2026.
I think the only way the situation changes for Piastri and McLaren is if he comes out storming.
Yeah.
And Lando struggles to adapt to the car.
Yeah.
And, if he's outperforming in race in, race out, and Lando's just dropping back further and further and further, it becomes harder for McLaren to go, well, but Lando? I know he's their academy driver and they're jewel in the crown, so to speak. We've returned to form as constructors champions and a drivers champion with an academy driver, someone we've brought up through, and he's jewel in the crown, so to speak, for them. But it would be hard for people to see them just let Piastri walk away if Piastri comes out storming and Lando is struggling. I don't think Lando's going anywhere, but I think they'd have to break the bank or convince Piastri in some way, shape or form that things are going to change.
Yeah, but I've already told you McLaren are going to finish 3rd or lower in the constructors this year. I've told you that. So it doesn't matter whether Piastri outperforms Lando or not. Their car will be no good this year. I've already told you that.
Oh, I know that's what you're predicting for the
No, it's not what I'm thinking. It's just what I know.
You looked in your crystal ball and
I have. I've looked in my Mystic Meg crystal ball, and do you know the only reason I think that is because the past 2 years, McLaren, especially Zach Brown, have been too cocky with it. The way Zach Brown has come out and he's gone, the only way Max wins is if he's in the fastest car. Well, he still did win 2024, didn't he, when you made that statement? That was a stupid statement to make. You don't make that unless your driver has won the championship.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And this year, whenever he's been quizzed of, are you worried about Max? And it's, no, of course we're not. Well, maybe you should be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's as though they've just sort of gone, we're untouchable. Don't worry about it. The last company that did that was Mercedes, and then 2022 happened.
I get that. I do get that, but I don't think people back at the factory are.
Oh, I'm not saying they are
the same mindset. It's just, Zach Brown's just this law unto himself, I suppose. But
yeah, third or lower.
But coming to Ferrari, because we have spoken a little bit, we kind of crossed them over a little bit. Lewis, we've said, I personally think it's 2026 or bust.
Yeah.
I think he's tried to do what he did when he switched from McLaren to Mercedes.
Yeah.
And when he's made this decision, part of it's been I want to drive a Ferrari, but part of it's also new regs.
Yeah.
They've shown me their plan. Okay. Let's get that minimum 2 years. At least I can see the plan and see what comes of it. If the car's not good and he's not at a point where he can fight, I think it will be he walks away. Mutual decision. I'm off. Thank you very much.
The only thing I'd say to that is when you say they've shown Lewis their plans, the car's not even ready yet. Are you sure they had any plans? Was this not just? Was this not just
on a napkin?
Yeah, covered in spaghetti. I'm sorry, they did not have a plan.
But kind of where he looked at regulation changes. Yeah. They've convinced him that they might have the car. He wants to finish at a Ferrari. Wouldn't it be great? Number 8 in a Ferrari, 2026. See you later. Bye-bye. Leaving either way. I think he's gone either way.
Yeah.
I think he's gone either way. Yeah. If he wins the championship, he bows out and goes, brilliant, I did it in a Ferrari. There's number 8. Thank you so much. It's been a ride.
Yeah.
If the car's a pile of bolts, he'll be like, I finished the Ferrari. It was a dream. Thank you very much. See you later. I think he's gone regardless. I don't think he's going on beyond 2026 anyway, personally.
You see, I think if Ferrari have nailed it this year, and they come out with a fantastic championship contender of a car, Leclerc gets his first, Hamilton doesn't get his 8th. Only because I think Leclerc's got so much more experience dealing with Ferrari and the cars they produce, and also the team back at the factory, his race engineer. I think the whole thing is a lot smoother. And bear in mind, it's probably the least smooth thing I've ever seen in my life, but it's smoother than what we saw this year with Lewis Hamilton, his race engineer. That was a very, very hard thing to watch through the year.
Yeah.
And I think so, whilst you might have a great car for the performance, even if you have a great car at Ferrari, do you not win the championship because of bad strategies, because of bad pit decisions, because of the wrong tyres, because of water on the seat? Do you know what I mean? Ferrari have got so many other reasons for ruining a race now. Yeah. It's actually hard to watch.
Well, that's
part of the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, we did say it the other week that even if they did come out with a great car, Ferrari could Ferrari. But
I know.
But let's just say they get all their books lined up, and Leclerc and Hamilton get a shot at it. I think either way, it's the end of the Lewis Hamilton era in F1. I do think.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah,
the Charles Leclerc one. I know he's contracted through 2029, but if the rumours are to be believed, he was looking for the exit door at the end of last season.
I must say, I understand to a degree. Whenever you've spoken to Leclerc, it's always been boyhood dream, drive for Ferrari and all that. But man, if he had to stay with that contract till 2029. That's got to be the worst contract decision ever.
I think he's got a bit of Stockholm syndrome. Like he's just been hostage there for that long that he's just started to relate to them.
Yeah, completely.
I get the F1 Ferrari Prestige and the Ferrari Red and driving with the prancing pony, on the front of your car and all that.
I don't.
I understand because like the year I don't get why they get prestige money. They're just another team, all of that stuff. But I get why there's a romantic kind of side to it for the drivers. I do. But if they don't come out with a car that's a decent car, and if they don't sort out that backroom stuff and the pit wall nonsense, I can see Leclerc trying to force his way out.
Yeah, and so he should.
To one of the other teams. And again, he's another driver who could go, hey, by the way, I'm available.
Yeah.
And everyone will be like, okay, well, there's 14 drivers up for renewal this year, we can take it. So he might be under contract, but I said earlier, every contract got a price.
Oh, of course it has. Of course it has. And I feel sorry for Leclerc because he looks so beaten down by Ferrari. And I don't understand the whole thing of, the prancing horse and the red and all that. Don't get me wrong, I like a nice Ferrari. But in all seriousness, if Lewis Hamilton, if by the end of your career in Formula One, if you've won 7 of your championships, and then all of a sudden one of them is at Ferrari, even if it's your last season, ignore if it's your last season, is the one that you won at Ferrari worth more than the ones that you won everywhere else? No, it doesn't matter a toss. And I think it's that whole thing of,
isn't it?
Yeah, it might be a personal thing, but you know what? I think it's more impressive if you've won championships in a Haas than it is if you've won one in a Ferrari.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think I don't understand the prestige. I don't. I understand in day-to-day life, you know what I mean? If you go in, well, I'm no longer driving a Skoda, I'm driving a Ferrari. No offense to Skoda, by the way. I quite like Skodas. But I understand that prestige of it. When it's a Formula One car, I don't think it matters a toss. I really don't. Because the fact that you are one of only 20 or 22 drivers worldwide in Formula One, the best drivers in the world, I don't think it matters which overalls you wear. I really don't. I don't get that.
No, I do get it, but I can understand your take on it. You're at the cutting edge of it anyway, regardless of what team you're in.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But do you know one thing I would love to see?
Go on.
I would love to see Leclerc break out of that contract and be reunited alongside Sainz to bring Williams to the pinnacle.
United and it feels so good.
Yeah, exactly. I would.
Could you imagine Williams has a breakout season? And I know people listening is going to be like, I'm going to love him with Williams every week. And honestly, yeah, because of everything, the way James Vowles is pushing that team on, and the way they're kind of developing everything, and the way they look as a team, and I don't get. I'm going to love in on Williams for a bit, but could you imagine they come out with a car? Leclerc is on the market. You take him, and then 2027, you've got that team again.
You see, if you want to understand why we like Williams, there is a video on YouTube for Williams F1, and it's with James Vowles, and he gives a tour of the factory. He's talking about what he wants from the team, what he wants to build it into, and everything like that, and the way he talks about his staff and everything, and it's absolutely inspiring.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever watched something and thought, wouldn't it be incredible to be a part of something like that? And I've watched, Ferrari tours, Mercedes tours, Red Bull tours, all that. And at no point have I ever thought, say, what it'd be epic to be a part of that. Nah, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't complain, but it's not like that was actually inspiring watching that.
I know, come away from that video thinking, I'd throw my overalls on.
Yeah, wouldn't you just, yeah? But leaving our bromance for James aside, love you, James, but leaving that aside, right? So the final team, Alpine, Pierre Gasly until 28.
Solid. I think that's a solid lock-in for Alpine.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, dude can drive. Dude's been around.
Who's the other driver for Alpine? Have I missed that?
Franco Colapinto. I just think he's in it. I think he's in it till he bins it too much.
Agreed.
I think the thing is he still. I may be wrong here, so if I am, in the comments, please let me know. But I think he's a paid seat driver still.
Oh, okay.
Possibly. I could be wrong, but if I am wrong, do point it out in the comments. But I don't think he's got what it takes.
Right.
So I think 2026 is a year for him to show everybody. Cause what he did nine races for Williams end of last season, binned it in 3.
Yeah.
So he ruined the car. He cost them like a fortune in his first 9 races.
Yeah. He
didn't have a standout season last season once he was in that seat after he replaced Jack Doohan. I think he's got to outperform Gasly if he wants to stay in, which is not going to be easy because Gasly is just consistent. I think the only time Gasly's really had a bad race is if he's taken damage. I may be wrong, but I think right, where are we? Let me just bring up the
right,
drivers. Where's Pierre Gasly? Where are you, buddy? There you are. It's only showing the 2026 season though.
Well, I'll tell you what then. Let's move past Alpine, and let's go on to our final topic.
Yes.
Of the podcast or interview with Sergio Perez that has come out this week, last week?
8 days ago. So for anyone interested who wants to give it a listen, it is in Spanish but dubbed into English on YouTube. It's the Oso Trava podcast, and it was titled "Checo Perez: The Sabbatical is Over."
It's about an hour and 15 long.
An hour 26. An hour 26. So about an hour and a half.
Okay.
We gave it a listen yesterday, alone, respectively. And interesting is an understatement.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it interesting. I mean, I'd get your tissues ready for that podcast because it is effectively one long sob story. And it's an hour and 20 minutes of my life I'll never get back, unfortunately. I've always really liked Perez. I was saying to you, I think he's one of those F1 drivers where when you see him being interviewed at any time when he's been at the racetrack or anything, you think, wow, what a down-to-earth fella. He seems really approachable. He seems like a good laugh, doesn't take himself too seriously, all that. And I thought, yeah, he's a good one. You know what I mean? Man, after that podcast, I just thought, I can't wait for you to shut up. It was like we need to throw him a pity party after that. I'm sorry.
I think it was.
I don't know if that's what he was aiming for. If he was, he did a cracking job.
It felt like a PR piece. I said this to you earlier. It felt like a PR piece.
Yeah.
A very much hey, I I was out of the sport through no fault of my own last year.
Yeah.
Was the vibe.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it
Yeah.
was really interesting hearing about like when he was young and having to move away from home and
That
the
was,
struggles there as being, you know, a young guy abroad and not really speaking the languages and not really having contact with family and so. And it was really interesting. Like, wow, yeah, you know, the guy went through it as a young lad to get to where he was,
Yeah.
and to make the contacts he had, and you know, and the sponsorships and stuff like that. And you know, fair play to him. It was really interesting. Like listening to that. It was when he got onto the Red Bull side
Yeah.
that he really lost me. You know, the snippet that's been going around that people who are into F1 who've probably heard already is that, well, when I was faster than Max, it was a problem. When I was slower than Max, there was a problem. There was always a problem. And you listen to the way he was explaining his time at Red Bull, and you kind of feel like he was the kid that was just put in the corner and told to shut up, stay there, do what he's told, and
Yeah.
he'll be called upon when he's needed. And you're like, well, that's one. You were you're on your way out of the sport.
Yeah.
You'd lost your seat
Yeah.
at Force India. You were out of the way on your way out of the sport. You had no seat, and then Red Bull come to you and said, "Hey, we're going to put you in one of the most competitive cars that this sport's ever seen."
Yeah, without a doubt.
It's
I mean, I think those certain parts, like you say, the beginning part of that interview was interesting, especially through his childhood, and trying to make it to F1 interesting. And hats off to him, nothing but pure commitment. I'll give him that. Not complaining about that at all. Like you say, it was once we got onto the Red Bull stuff, it was almost like trying to explain to people why we should feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
And I thought it was almost like a preemptive thing of, if I have a rough season, it's because I'm mentally scarred by Red Bull. When I come into Cadillac this year, that was almost what it was like. It was almost like, be prepared this year. I'm not going to be great, but it's because I've still got issues from when I was on track with Max last time.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff he came out with was just, I mean, one comment that he made, he said that this year out of F1 was his best, as it's made people realise just how good he was. Do you know what? While he wasn't there this year, I never thought about him once. I never thought, good grief, man, where's Perez when you need him? He was amazing. I've never thought that.
No. I think he was kind of using the whole look at the churn factory at Red Bull. And, you know,
yeah, maybe so.
Look who's not been able to stay in that seat. And he did actually say, you know, in the interview that when he was leaving, he said to Christian, well, who are you going to put in the seat? And they were like, well, you know, the next guy. And what if he doesn't work out? Well, we'll put the next guy in. Well, what if he doesn't work out? Well, the next guy. Well, we've got enough guys, so we'll go through them all if we have to.
Yeah.
And you kind of like, whether our thoughts on how Red Bull have done things in the past, put them aside or whatever, that's the cutting edge of the sport. Well, if it doesn't work out, I mean, you're meant to give them enough time to settle in and do it. But if it doesn't, then of course you're going to go to the next guy. That's why they were letting you go, because it wasn't working out. Were they meant to kind of say, well, just carry on doing what you're doing? And there was a part where he was talking about, you know, the car comment at the start of the season. Oh, basically when he was told, this is the Max project.
Yeah.
We're only bringing you in because we need to run two cars. Is basically the way he said it was put to him. Obviously, it's what Sergio says or what anyone else says. You know, you don't know what was actually said here, but
no.
But then he's talking about the car and how at the start of the season, you know, the car was a bit heavier than they wanted, and that kind of suited him because it was a bit more stable. But then as the season progressed and it got more unstable, he started to fall behind Max, and I was kind of like, and I said this to you again earlier. So what I'm hearing there is when the car was heavier, i.e. slower,
yeah,
I was able to control it and, get it round and do what I needed to do. But the moment it got lighter and quicker, I hit the limit of my talent.
Well, you see, when he was talking about that, he was talking about the 2022 season, right? Because I made a note of it because I thought it was the daftest thing I'd ever heard, right? So he'd said at the beginning of the 2022 season, he was handling the car better than Max was, and he was faster than Max was because it was heavier. But that all changed when they brought upgrades. The upgrades suited Max more than they did Perez. So he said in the beginning of the 2022 season, he was fighting for the championship. And I'm quoting that from that interview, right?
I know.
He was fighting for the 2022 championship and he was faster than Max. Bearing in mind, Max won the first 4 races and then Leclerc won 2 by the time Perez won 1. At what point was he faster than Max when Max won the first 4 races?
Well, what's interesting there is it's like he's got this story in his own head. Because if you listen to the interview, he says, Max won 1, I won 1, Max won 1, I won 1. And we were... And I was thinking that, no, that's not how that played out. Max came out storming. You weren't trading wins. And he does say in the interview, I won 1, Max won 1, I was... At no point did that happen. So it's almost like he's built this story in his head to kind of protect himself and...
Yeah. And the thing is with that, you see, is that season, 2022, he still finished 149 points behind Max. I'm sorry, but you can't say that's fighting for the championship and you were the number 2. 149 points is a lot of points. If you want to see somebody fighting for the championship who's just ended up number 2, you've got to look at the likes of Norris and Piastri this year, haven't you, really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For teammates.
Yeah, going at it, where it's last couple of races. Yeah.
And there's what was the 22 points in it between them two?
Coming into the last
something
race,
around there, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So then they start talking about 2023, and he gave the exact same review again of, oh, well, I was faster. And then there was upgrades and it just suited Max and it was never to suit me. And you think, we know it's not built for Max. Max, we've had those interviews with Albon and things like that.
Yeah.
And Albon has said, everyone says the car is built around Max. It's not. The car is what it is. Even Adrian Newey has said that.
Yeah.
When you build a car, you build it to be the most aerodynamic, to perform the best downforce, whatever it is. You don't build it to suit a driver. It's nearly impossible to do that. The car just is what it is. The same way the Mercedes suited Hamilton better or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Certain drivers manage to get better performances out of other cars. But he said the same thing about 2023 in Red Bull. Max finished 290 points ahead and won 19 races to Perez's 2.
Yeah. I think as well...
What are you talking about?
It's the one who said about I was telling them that the back end of the car doesn't feel right. The car, there's something wrong with the car, and he's like, oh, they weren't listening to me. And in fairness, if I've got 2 drivers, and one of them's putting it in the points constantly, and one of them isn't, and the one who isn't comes to me with excuses, I'm just going to be like, You might be struggling with this car, but the car's capable of scoring points. You're paid to get it up there. You've got this seat to get that car in the points, and the other driver's doing it. And then he said about, but then when Max complained later in the season, they were like, oh, we need to sort this. Well, yeah, that would be my whole thing.
Yeah.
Earlier on in the season, the guy who's scoring points is saying the car's fine. He's driving it and he's getting points. The guy who isn't is complaining. Well, the car must be all right because it's in the points. And I know it's Max, and you kind of the comparing apples and oranges type thing. But if that guy then comes to me and says, "Listen, I'm starting to have a little bit of trouble with the back end of this car," I'd be like, "Oh right, well you've been scoring points all season. If you're starting to complain now, that might be something we need to look into." If both cars at the start of the season were scoring no points, and one driver come to me and went, "There's an issue. All right, let's look into it. Let's figure out that because no one's scoring, no one's getting it up there, no one's challenging. Let's figure this out." But if it's the guy who's not scoring points, he's looking for other excuses. And the whole interview, when it got to the Red Bull bit, it felt like he was looking for other excuses other than he just couldn't perform. And he started talking about all the pressure of it, and then how you then feel like the team's against you, and the media's against you, and the fans are against you.
Yeah.
And you're like, there's the whole internal pressure thing we talked about before.
Of course.
And I completely get that. But it felt like I say, he was just looking for any excuse other than, I just couldn't drive that car. I couldn't do what I needed to do with that car. I hit the limit of my my talent, so to speak. I
think the thing is, if Perez had said that, if he'd have said, "Do you know what? I struggled in the Red Bull, and regardless of how much I asked him to change this, that, and the other, it didn't happen or whatever. I couldn't perform in that car." Do you know what? Fair enough. Not every driver is going to suit every car, or vice versa. And nobody was expecting him to put in the exact same times as Max. There is always better drivers than other drivers.
Yeah.
Nobody was expecting that. But you can't just blame everything on the team, or saying it's just the car, it's built around one driver.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Don't be so daft. I'm sorry, that interview, I was really hoping for almost like a welcome me back to F1. I'm coming out fighting. I can't wait. I've taken a year off to, gather my thoughts and prepare myself for the year ahead.
Yeah, I feel renewed, refreshed, ready to attack it.
Yeah. No, it just turned into, I'm looking forward to coming back, but here's all my excuses for why I was rubbish.
Yeah. And the thing with the statements of that the team was kind of against me and all that, he then kind of contradicted himself towards the end of the Red Bull bit, where he was like, "I gave Red Bull my all, and Red Bull gave me their all." Which one was it? They either gave you their all, or they were against you, and they weren't really supporting you. It can't be both.
No, of course not.
And then, just a couple of comments about Max and that, which I just thought were like, there's no need for that.
When he puts his helmet on, he's a different person.
Yeah, he's like, he's really nice, around the paddock and at the back and everything, but the moment he puts his helmet on, there's something wrong with him, kind of thing. Like, he did actually say, I don't know, again, it's an English dub, there may be a translation thing.
Yeah.
But when he says, like, there's a problem with him.
Yeah.
And obviously he referenced Barcelona, where we saw a little bit of the petulant young Max kind of come back in. But, like, he was expecting Max to put the helmet on and still be buddy-buddy. When...
Oh, man. Yeah, but it's like I said to you before, that's like saying Darth Vader's really nice till he puts his helmet on. That's like saying, he didn't go and kill all the little Jedis until he put his helmet on. Do you know what I mean? You're like, no, that's just stupid, because before that he was playing, Cluedo with them. Do you know what I mean? Don't be so stupid.
Yeah.
That any F1 driver, regardless of who it is, the second they put that helmet on, all they want to do is win that race. That's every F1 driver.
Yeah.
It's not anyone else. They're not thinking, how can I best help my teammate?
No.
Of course they're not. Don't get me wrong. You do get it where, we had it with Williams in Monaco, where they were, trying to slow the drivers down a little bit to give me teammates a pit stop. but they weren't fighting for P1.
No.
They were midfield doing a bit of strategy here and there. But all drivers, they put that helmet on and you can see it in their eyes when the cameras zoom in, when the visor's open. And they are a different animal when that helmet goes on. And you've got to be.
You want them to be. If you're a fan, if
of course
you're
you do.
leading a team, you want them. I made the reference earlier when we were kind of getting ready to do the thing that, I used to play rugby. And from the first whistle to the last whistle, you would kick each other, you'd punch each other, you'd slam each other to the ground. You'd be beating each other up for 80 minutes. Absolutely hammering each other. You weren't friends. You weren't like, oh, are you okay, mate? You bury them into the ground, get up. I get buried into the ground and be left there in the mud.
Yeah.
The final whistle goes, you go, you shower, you get changed, and you all go to the pub and you all laugh about the game. Like you haven't just been kicking each other's heads in for 80 minutes. That's what you want. You want between the visor going down and that checkered flag, no quarter. Yep. We're not friends. I'm going to do what I can to win this. And you don't want someone to be like, oh, that's my teammate. Look at that. Oh, lovely. Yeah. Go on, buddy. Go on. Yeah. You're a trier. Do you know what it reminded me of?
Because when you see those rappers that aren't famous anymore trying to do like a diss track to become famous again. That's what it reminded me of. It was like, you see these fellas who are like in their late 40s going, I can still rap, we've got beef. And you're like, oh no, take his microphone away. It's it's embarrassing now. It's just.
I've always admired Checo as a driver.
I have, yeah.
I thought it was when he was at Force India and he was doing really well. And when he got his podiums, I was so made up for the guy. When he got his first win, so made up for him. But if you look back at his driving career, anytime he's been in a team with a driver that's just that extra level, like his time at McLaren with Jenson Button, his time at Red Bull with Max, he's not been able to raise it to that level. He's not been world championship level elite. He's been a very good, very quick, very reliable and consistent driver up until the last couple of seasons in Red Bull where it all started to kind of implode. And maybe you need this if you're going to be in F1, but part of me thinks he thinks he's better than he is.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I get that when he come in, he wanted to be, a world champion. And it's everyone's dream breaking into F1 to become the Formula One world champion. But every time, like I say, he's had a teammate who's just that extra level.
Yeah. I think every F1 driver goes into F1 believing they are going to be the next world champion, because otherwise you shouldn't be there.
No.
That's everyone. And that's the way they should think, because they need that drive and they need that goal to be the best. You know what I mean? Max Verstappen wasn't the best when he entered F1. Far from it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, the only season Perez has ever beat Max in points is 2015, and it was Max's first season.
His rookie year.
His rookie year?
Crazy when you think about it.
It is.
That long ago.
So obviously, I think you can sum it up, that interview when Perez was going on about his points and how he struggled at Red Bull and team was against him, and it was only because of upgrades and all this. And I just think, well, all right. I thought I'll do a little bit of digging then. So, all right. So if you look at, and this is nothing against Perez, but when you look at Perez in total, he's done 14 seasons, right? So let's compare him with a new driver, Oscar Piastri, 3 seasons, right? Perez has got 6 wins in total in 14 seasons. Yeah.
He didn't win.
Oscar's got 9.
Yeah, he didn't win.
Oscar's got 9. Perez got 39 podiums in 14 seasons. Oscar's got 26. 2 pole positions for Perez, 6 for Oscar.
Yeah.
The only thing he's beat him on really is fastest laps. We don't get points to them anymore. Nobody cares.
Part of the argument there could be like, Perez wasn't in front running teams, right?
Yeah, but he was a Red Bull.
I'm going to finish like the bit there. He wasn't Red Bull, definitely, but he wasn't front running teams. But if he was capable of being in a front running team, he'd have been there.
Yeah.
If he was fast enough, he'd have been there. If he was at that level, he'd have been there.
Yeah.
And that's not to knock his level of racing. He's, like I say, he's been a consistent racer. He's been really good. He's been, he's showed up at every team that he's been to up until where it kind of all imploded at Red Bull. He really has. That's why, when his time was up at Force India, and it's actually interesting, hearing how that came about with Lawrence Stroll buying the team after essentially Perez and his team orchestrated the administration type thing for it to take over, but then he ended up losing his seat. And everyone was like, oh no, we're not going to see Checo, because he was that good he was a good driver. He was consistent. He was fun to watch. He was likable, but he spent his time around mid-level teams because he's not elite. He's not exactly championship elite. And I think, you've got to have that belief that you've got it in you.
Of course you have.
But you've also got to take some responsibility on your shoulders, because that's what, that's what the elite drivers do as well.
Yeah.
When they're not getting it right, they say, listen, I'm not, the car's not great, but I'm not doing what I need to be doing as well. You can't just say the world was against me and feel sorry for me when I come back. And you're right, that's exactly what it felt like. It felt like I need a pity party.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
I mean,
but that's the sad thing, because I've always liked Perez. Like I say, I've always thought seems really approachable, really down to earth. I just think hearing the first half of that interview, it was interesting because it was his entire history into F1. The second he started with the everyone needs to feel sorry for me because of this, that, and the other, I just thought, it's almost as though he's made up his own alternate reality of why he didn't succeed.
Yeah, in order to be able to kind of handle it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fine if you want to tell yourself that in the mirror, but don't air it online and make me waste my time listening to it. So I'm sorry.
I mean,
I listen to a lot of podcasts, but most of the time I come away with it and think, it was all right. I wouldn't listen to it again. After that, I wanted a refund on my time. I'm sorry. That was precious battery time wasted on my phone, that.
But anyone listening who thinks that, we may be being a little bit too harsh, do have a listen to it yourself. There's the Oso Trava podcast on YouTube. OSO space TRAVA. Have a listen yourself.
Don't say we didn't warn you.
Have a listen yourself. Do, if you disagree with us after listening to it, do throw it in the comments. Let us know.
Oh yeah.
If you agree, let us know. Let us know why. And it may feel like we're being a bit harsh on him, but Mark listened to it once. I listened to it twice because I was like, did I really hear that? So I went through and listened to it again, and I really heard that. And
unfortunately, I heard it as well.
It made me kind of wonder what kind of Checo Perez are we going to get coming into this season. And are the excuses already lined up? You mentioned this earlier when we were chatting. Are the excuses already lined up for when, or if? I think when. Bottas outperforms him. Do we see more of the same? But I don't know what more we can say on it, but
I think that's about it, to be honest. I think at some point we're just hurting his feelings. But it's good that we're not focusing on Stroll, so that's all right. But I think that does bring us to a quite delightful end there.
It does.
I think it does. Plus, I need to go to bed.
Yeah. So thank you to anyone who's been listening on any of the podcast platforms. Thank you to those who've been watching on YouTube. We do appreciate all the support so far. Thank you so much for giving us your time and your ears. If there's anything that we said that you kind of like, oh, I want to chip in there, do throw it in the comments. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, head over to YouTube, look for the episode 4 on the Social Media Stewards F1 podcast channel. Let us know your thoughts. Any questions that you'd like us to answer as well, F1 related, we'd be happy to go through them and let you know our thoughts. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. Until next time, take care.
Goodbye.